Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we chant one round of japa in the beginning. The reason is, there can be many reasons, but we chant one round because several times devotees have been telling me that somebody is sick or somebody is having some problem. Can you please pray for my relative or friend? So I felt that it's not that only when we are in difficulty that we should pray to Krishna, right? When there is difficulty, certainly we don't have anyone else than to turn to Krishna. But at other times in gratitude, we should always turn to Krishna, isn't it? So as a group, we'll come together and we'll chant one round of japa in the morning. And, if somebody is going through some difficulty, they will mention it and we will keep them in our prayers. But even if there is no difficulty, still we will come together to please Krishna. That was the idea. So we had started, chanting this one round of japa every day for a while now. It's been several months actually, maybe even years. So let us just start chanting one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada, and then we'll begin with Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaur Vani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita shloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 15, text 16. So we'll go in alphabetical order. Chinmayi Keshvi Mataji.
द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षराक्षाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थो अक्षर उच्यते। Translation. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible.
Yes. Gopika?
Yes, okay.
द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every
Living entity.
living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is infallible.
Yes, thank you. Next, Narsimha Praladeshwar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dau imam purusha loke, sharascha shara ivacha, sharaha sarvani bhutani, kutasthoksara ucyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, everything, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you Prabhuji. Pragnya, do you need to go to school? You can recite.
No, Mataji, I can recite.
Okay. Go ahead.
Dvavanam purusau loke caksara eva ksara sarvani bhutani kutasthoksara ucyate. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dvav imau purusau loke, ksaras-caksara eva ca, ksarah sarvani bhutani, kutasthoksara ucyate. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible.
Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry, I was looking for my glasses.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji.
Dvau imau purusau loke ksharas caksara eva ca kshara sarvani bhutani kutasthoksara ucyate. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible.
Thank you, Mataji. Sumati Rukmini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Pranam.
all Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Vamimau purusau loke, kshara eva ca, kshara sarvani bhutani, kutasthoksara ucyate. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so I'll also recite Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, text 15. Dvavimau purusau loke ksharascaksara eva ca ksarah sarvani bhutani kutasthoksara ucyate. In the material world, there are two kinds of living beings. There are two kinds of living beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Usha Mataji and Medha, if Medha is there.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dvavimau purusau loke ksharascaksara eva ca kshara sarvani bhutani kutasthoksara ucyate. Translation. There are two classes of being, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible.
Yeah.
Meda is not the Krishna.
Okay, so let's begin reading Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 4, The Atrocities of King Kaṁsa. And yesterday we read that after Vasudev returned and so Vasudev returned from Gokul with the female child, and after coming back, he placed the girl baby next to Devakī Mai on Devakī Mai's bed, and he put on the iron shackles on his feet and remained there as before. And then So what did we read about the doorkeepers? The doorkeepers, and then the baby began to cry. I think that's what happened yesterday. We read, right? Uh, what is that? Bala. What is that? Or Baladhvani, right? Baladhvani means when a baby is just born from the mother, a newborn baby cries. And actually, if the baby doesn't cry, it's not good. They actually, the doctors, they spank the baby to make the baby cry. Naturally, the baby will cry, but if for some reason, if the baby is not crying, they make the baby cry. And then when the baby cries loudly, this is, they say, the doctors today say, when the baby cries loudly, then the lungs are able to function nicely. Because so far in the mother's womb, the baby was doing it through the mother. Everything, the ready-made food was coming from the mother. So it was not really functioning on its own. It was dependent on the mother. For the first time now the baby is outside and the umbilical cord is cut. Now the baby is on its own. So it has to, to make the lungs function properly, they make the baby cry. And naturally, by nature, the baby cries. Usually when there is like a cesarean, right? Like a C-section, that's when sometimes the babies don't cry. So they hold the baby like this, upside down, and they just spank the baby to make the baby cry, But actually the baby cries. Of course, it's not that the baby was just born in this case. The baby was brought from Gokula, but when she's brought and when she was put on Devakī Mai's bed, it is as if, like the baby, who is this baby? It's Yogamaya, expansion of Yogamaya, Mahamaya, right? So now she has to play her part, her role. Otherwise, how Kamsa will come to know, how Kamsa will come, so much has to happen. So immediately the baby began to cry, right? So Baladhvani. Then it is said all these doorkeepers who were fast asleep until now under the influence of Yogamaya also. Remember, before Vasudeva left, by the influence of Yogamaya, all their senses stopped functioning and they just went into deep sleep, everyone. But at this time, by hearing again, by the influence of the same Yogamaya, her expansion, when she cried, all these doorkeepers woke up from their sleep and they heard, oh, the eighth child is born, the eighth child is born. So what will they do? They will go and they will run to Kamsa and they'll tell him, the eighth baby is born. So this is, so there Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, compares this situation, the doorkeepers, right, especially the guards, as soon as they heard the sound, and they will go and they'll tell Kamsa. So it is like the dogs in the street, as soon as they see a new stranger come to their locality, then they'll just start barking, right? And when one dog barks, so many other dogs also bark together. And why they bark like this? Because they feel that this is our area and we are the protectors of this area. It's not that they are appointed by anyone to protect like that, but they just feel like that and they just start barking. Similarly, these gatekeepers also will run to Kamsa and, like barking. They'll go and they'll tell, oh, the baby is born, like that. So now let's see what happened after that. We can just quickly take a look at the verse one more time, what we read yesterday. Sri Shuka Uvacha, Bahir, one more thing. The doors also, Bahir Antah Pura Dvaraha Sarvaha Purvavad Avritaha. So after Vasudeva put the iron shackles on his legs, the doors closed on their own. He didn't close the doors. He was coming with the baby, isn't it? He didn't open them and he didn't close them also. They opened on their own and now once again they closed on their own. He just put the iron shackles on himself and he just stayed there like before. And on their own, all the doors inside, the immediate prison doors and outside, the gates, whatever opened for him to go outside and inside, all the doors and gates closed on themselves. Purvavat, like before. No change. Everything was like before and Vasudeva is still sitting there. The only change is there's a baby now. That's what they will see. Tato baladhvanim shrutva, hearing this baladhvani, grihapalaha samuttitaha, they woke up, right? All the grihapalaha, the protectors or the guards of the house, they just woke up. Next verse. Text 2. Te tu tūrṇam upavrajya devakyā garbha-janma tat ācakhyur bhoja-rājāya yad udvignaḥ pratīkṣate. Te tu tūrṇam upavrajya devakyā garbha-janma tat ācakhyur bhoja-rājāya yad udvignaḥ pratīkṣate. So you can read the translation and purport and then we will discuss. So who read last yesterday? It's difficult for me to remember. I think Chinmay Mataji started, right? Or yeah, I think so.
I read, Mataji.
You also read. Okay. So then Pragnya, go ahead. Translation, and then Priyanka Mataji will read.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thereafter, all the watchmen quickly approached King Kaṁsa, the ruler of the Bhoja dynasty, and submitted the news of the birth of Devaki's child Kaṁsa, who had awaited this news very anxiously. Immediately took action.
Hare Krishna. So they went, all the watchmen, they ran to Kaṁsa and told him what happened. The baby is born. So Kaṁsa was waiting for this news very anxiously. So what did he do? Immediately he took action. Go ahead, Pragna, you can read the purport also, just one line. Not there.
Kaṁsa was very anxiously waiting because of the prophecy that the eighth child of Devakī would kill him. This time, naturally, he was awake and awaiting when the watchman approached him and immediately took action to kill the child.
He couldn't even sleep. We saw that, right? Out of fear, because he's seeing Krishna everywhere. Even in his sleep, he was only seeing Krishna all the time, right? Whether he's sleeping or eating or walking, he was just constantly Krishna conscious, thinking of Krishna all the time, seeing Krishna everywhere, hearing Krishna everywhere. So Kaṁsa was very anxiously waiting because of the prophecy that the eighth child of Devakī would kill him. This is the final, right? All these, one after another, he killed all the babies, maybe this one, maybe that one. But now it is certain, this is the eighth child. The Akashvani said, the eighth garbha of Devakī will kill you. So this time, naturally, he was awake, right? So it was time. Actually, Krishna came when Devakī was 8 months pregnant. He came 1 month early. That was also to bewilder Kaṁsa, one of the reasons. So he came 1 month early, not 9 months, but 8 months. But anyway, he was waiting, Kaṁsa was waiting. He was awake and waiting. And when the watchman approached him, he immediately took action to kill the child. So let's see what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. Oh, I closed it. Okay, let me open it. Okay. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, the guards quickly got up and told Kaṁsa of the birth of Devaki's eighth child, garbha-janma. That's all. They just went and told Kaṁsa that the child is born. Next verse. Okay. So then next we will go to Mataji is not able to read right away. So Saujanya Mataji, you can read text 3. Huh?
You called me Mataji, sorry.
Oh, Saujanya Mataji, I said Mataji. Yeah. सतल्पात् तूर्णम् उत्थाय कालोऽयम् इति विह्वलः सूतीगृहम् अगात् तूर्णं प्रस्खलन् मुक्तमूर्धजः. Saujanya Mataji, you can read the translation. Are you driving, Mataji? You're able to read, or?
I can read. Kamsa immediately got up from bed, thinking, "Here is Kala, the supreme time factor, which has taken birth to kill me." Thus overwhelmed, Kamsa, his hair scattered on his head, at once approached the place where the child had been born.
Yes, Mataji. So next, Sumati Rukmini Mataji, you can read the purport.
It's Mataji, Hare Krishna, thank you. The word Kala is significant. Although the child was born to kill Kamsa, Kamsa thought this was the proper time to kill the child so that he himself would be saved. Kala is actually another name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he appears only for the purpose of killing. When Arjuna inquired from Krishna in his universal form, "Who are you?" the Lord presented himself as Kala, death personified to kill. By nature's law, when there is an unwanted increase of population, Kala appears. And by some arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, people are killed wholesale in different ways, by war, pestilence, famine, and so on. At that time, even at the political leaders go to a church, mosque, or temple for protection by God or gods and submissively say, "God willing." Before that, they pay no attention to God, not caring to know God or His will. But when Kala appears, they say, "Good will." Death is but another feature of the Supreme Kala. The Supreme Personality of Godhead at the time of death, the atheist must submit to this Supreme Kala, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead takes away all his positions. Mrityu sarva haraschaham, and forces him to accept another body. Tata dehantara praptihi. This the atheists do not know. And if they do know, they neglect it so that they may go on with their normal life. The Krishna conscious movement is trying to teach them that although for a few years one may act as a great protector or great watchman, but the appearance of Kala, death, one must take another body by the laws of nature. Not knowing this, they unnecessarily waste their time in their occupation as watchdogs and do not try to get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is clearly said, "Aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartamani." Without Krishna consciousness, one is condemned to continue wandering in birth and death, not knowing what will happen in one's birth. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So we'll also read what Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying in this verse. So Kamsa immediately got up from bed, thinking, "Here is Kala, the supreme time factor, which has taken birth to kill me." You're able to see Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary? White background? Maybe not. I'll share it.
Clear, Mataji. Can be clear.
Okay. Yeah. Kamsa immediately got up from bed, thinking, "Here is Kala, the supreme time factor, which has taken birth to kill me." Thus overwhelmed, Kamsa, his hair scattered on his head, at once approached the place where the child had been born. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The time has come, kalo ayam, for killing the child. Here is kala means kala has come to kill me. What is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur saying? Kamsa is saying, here is the time for me to kill the child. The time has come, kalo ayam, for killing the child. Or the sentence can mean, out of fear, Kamsa was thinking that the birth of the child was his own death, kala. So either way, right? You can take it either way, that the time has come means the time has come to kill the child, or here is kala means here is my death. My death has come now, like that. So he's feeling fear. Sa talpāt tūrṇam utthāya. Saha is he, Kamsa. Talpāt means from the bed. From the bed. Tūrṇam, very quickly. Utthāya, he got up. So as soon as the guards went to Kamsa and told him that the eighth child is born, this was in the middle of the night. So, a few hours after midnight, certainly, because Vasudeva walked to Gokula and brought back the baby. So some time passed after midnight, but it was still in the middle of the night. So he was in bed, but he was always in fear. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport says that he was waiting to hear this news anxiously. So when the guards told him the child is born, very quickly he got out of bed. Tūrṇam utthāya, quickly he got out of bed. Talpāt. Kaloyam iti vihvalaha. Kalaha ayam. Right? Here is kala. Here is time. That's what he said. When he got the news, what did he say? Kalaha ayam. Here is the time. Time for what? Oh, now is the time to go and kill? Or here is my death. Because Krishna says, time I am. Kalosmi. Bharatarshava. I am kala means what? I am the all-devouring death. So here is my kala. Here is my death. Like that. Kaloyam iti vihvalaha. And also, how do you know? If he's thinking now is the time to kill the baby, like that, if he's thinking, why should he become vihvala? Right? He's agitated. He's becoming quite worried. Here is death. That means my death has come. Vihvala. Overwhelmed. He became overwhelmed. Sūtī-gṛham agat tūrṇam. Once again, quickly, without delay, tūrṇam. He went where? Sūtī-gṛham, the maternity home, or the prison house where Devakī gave birth. He went to the maternity home without any delay. Right away he left. Praskalan mukta-mūrdhajaḥ. Praskalan, he didn't even set his hair properly. When you get up from bed, your hair is all over the place. So he didn't even fix his hair. As soon as he got the news, he got up and he said, here is my death. And he immediately, without wasting any time, he right away left for the place where Devakī is with the baby. So that is the prison house or the maternity home, sūtī-gṛham. Praskalan. Praskalan means his hair scattered. Mukta-mūrdhajaḥ. So it was scattered because it was opened up. What? Mūrdhaja means the hair on his head. Mūrdhaja. The one that is growing on his head. What is that? That is hair. Mūrdhaja. It was free and it was scattered all over, and in that condition Kamsa went. The previous verse we didn't look at the Sanskrit. I just want to read that also. Tetu tūrṇam upavrajya. Tūrṇam again, quickly. Who? The gatekeepers. Upavrajya. They went in front of Kamsa. Devakyā garbha-janma tat. So, Devaki's garbha means the embryo, right, from Devaki's womb has taken birth. Janma. right? Devakyā garbha-janma tat. So the child that is born from Devaki's womb. Devakyā garbha-janma tat ācakhyur bhoja-rājāya. Ācakhyur means submitted, they told. Who? Bhoja-rājā. Who is that? Kamsa, the king of the Bhojas. Unto the king of the Bhojas, Kamsa. Ācakhyur means they submitted. What did they say? The child from Devaki's born, the child is born from Devaki's womb. Like this, they went and submitted to Bhoja-rājā, Kaṁsa. Yad udvignaḥ pratīkṣate, who was waiting with great anxiety. Udvignaḥ means anxiously, pratīkṣate, he was waiting. To that Kaṁsa, who was eagerly waiting, the gatekeepers quickly, as soon as they heard the cries of the child, they quickly went and submitted in front of him that the baby from Devaki's womb has taken birth. Like that. Then, sa talpāt tūrṇam, as soon as Kaṁsa heard this, he got up from the bed very quickly and he said, Kālaha ayam, here is the time, right? Iti vihvalaha. Vihvalaha means again in great anxiety, he said that. Sūtī-gṛham agat tūrṇam. And from there, he went to the sūtī-gṛha or the maternity home. Tūrṇam, very quickly he went. Praskalan mukta-mūrdhajaḥ. He was in such a hurry he went, he didn't even fix his hair. His fair hair was opened up. It was not tied nicely and it was scattered all over. And in that condition he went. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining about Kala. When Kaṁsa said Kala ayam. So this word Kalaha is significant. Although the child was born to kill Kaṁsa, Kaṁsa thought that this was the proper time to kill the child. So that is what we read in Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. One reason is he thought, oh, now is the time for me to go and kill. I've been waiting for this moment. I killed all the other child, but I've been waiting for this 8th child. That time has come. The child has taken birth. Also when Devakī was pregnant, if you remember, he was thinking, considering, seeing Devaki's effulgence, he thought, oh, certainly Hari is in her womb now, like that. So he could see that this is, her effulgence was normal, her smile was also not artificial. She was naturally smiling because of her happiness, because of having the Supreme Lord in her womb. Even Kaṁsa could see that. And he was considering, should I kill her now? Because the baby is there. So many things he was thinking. No, this won't be right to kill all my, my life will be shortened because of killing a woman who is pregnant and she's under my care in the prison and she's my sister. No, this won't be good for me and my future will also be spoiled. I will go to hell for this activity, right? So on and so forth. So he didn't do it. He said, I will wait for her to give birth, like that. So now the child is born and now he's thinking, now the time has come for me to take action, like that. So Kalaha ayam means Kaṁsa is thinking, now is the time for me to go and kill. Although the child was born to kill Kaṁsa, Kaṁsa thought that this was the proper time to kill the child so that he himself would be saved. Kala is actually what is Kala? Kala means Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he appears only for the purpose of killing. Kala means the Lord who comes for the purpose of killing. That's when you call him Kala. You don't call him Kala all the time. When he comes as death, then you call him Kala. Like at the time of annihilation, Kala. When Arjun inquired from Krishna in his universal form, who are you? The Lord presented himself as Kala. Why? Because Arjun saw all these soldiers were entering into the mouth of Kala and they were getting crushed between the teeth of Kala. That means they're all going to die. Kala means he's come as death personified. He's going to take everyone inside, like that. So the Lord said that he introduced himself as Kala, death personified, to kill. By nature's law, when there is an unwanted increase in population, Kala appears. Yes. So when there is unwanted increase of population, again this is another, like we were reading in yesterday's purport, that our present day diplomats and politicians feel that they are the protectors, and they make all these, they pass these laws, birth control, right? I don't know if there's any law like that today or not, I'm not sure. But I heard from my parents when, at the time of my birth and my siblings at that time, in India, there was a law passed by the prime minister at that time that nobody should have something, I think 2 or 3 children only. You cannot have more than that. Either 2 or 3. That was back then. Now that is also not there. 1 or 2, right? That started going down. Why? Because there was this whole, as I was growing up as a child, I would see in television, there was this whole propaganda from the government side, right? Propaganda that you should, birth control was a big thing because we have a lot of population. Because of population explosion, we are not able to progress, right? We are not able to progress. This whole idea of progressing was actually, this is Kali's, Kali's technique. And also, if we followed our practices in Vedic culture, do you ever see birth control? You have to control. In fact, they felt the more children they had, the better, right? A big family, they would always go for many children. They would go. You just look at, you read Srimad Bhagavatam, how many children they had? So many. Vasudeva had 16 wives, and from each wife he had children. Lord Krishna had 16,108 wives, and from each wife he had 10 sons and 1 daughter. Where is the question of, but people come up with their own laws, right? Like they are going to protect this planet, they are going to protect the country, and this is their way of doing it. Mental speculation, right? With your mind, you come up with so many ideas, and then you think, with this I'm going to protect. But this thought of thinking that I am going to protect, it's like the dogs thinking that they're going to protect that street or that locality. They won't be able to protect. So this is just another example of that, of birth control, right? But what is the Lord's system? Even in that purpose, Srila Prabhupada says, actually, how is this material world being protected? Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Prakriti is controlling everything under the Supreme Lord's direction. So similarly here also, when there is unwanted increase of population, what do you mean by unwanted increase of population? Unwanted increase does not mean you're supposed to have 100 people and now there is 150 people, so let's remove 50 people. That's not the idea of unwanted population. Unwanted increase of population. Unwanted population means that type of population which is not following the Lord's system, the Lord's order, what you call Varna Sankara. When there is Varna Sankara, what is the use of such a society? The whole purpose of this material creation is to give an opportunity to all these conditioned souls who have been here in this material world, going through birth and death, life after life, life after life, and creation after creation also. If you don't take advantage in one creation of taking to spiritual life, then you have to go back again into the body of Karanodakashayi Vishnu and stay there until the next creation, when he glances on Prakriti again. Once again you come out. And in one life of Brahma, 100 years of Brahma, how many millions and billions of times we have taken so many different bodies, going through birth, death, old age and disease, adhyadmika, adidaivika, adibhautika miseries, life after life, birth after birth. So such suffering condition souls, and what to speak of committing sinful activities and going to hell and being punished, being cooked in hot oil, right, and being attacked by Ruru animals, right? So much suffering, and we are continuing like this in this material existence. So when this material creation happens, it is an opportunity. That is why along with creation, at the time of creation, the Vedas are also manifested in the heart of Brahmaji, and Brahmaji transmits them through to his descendants in succession, and that's coming to us. And whenever it is forgotten, sakale ne mahata yogo nashta parantapa, then once again the Lord starts a parampara, so that we will get that opportunity. Opportunity is being given to us in the form of association of his devotees, right? Or in the form of scriptures. So much opportunity is given. So the purpose is to bring us out of this forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. That is the whole purpose. So therefore, even when Lord Brahma creates, he creates the Prajapatis. Why? So that they will create good population. There is no problem in number. We will see, this Prachina Parishat, he's a Prajapati. And how many children he had? They will have in thousands, tens and thousands of children each time. Haryashvas, right? So many thousands of children. Then Savalashvas, another set of thousands of children. Daksha had 60 daughters. Actually, not Prachina Parishat, Daksha only. Daksha first had Haryashvas, then Savalashvas, all became devotees. Then he thought, this time I don't want sons, I will have daughters only, so that Narad Muni will not take them away again and make them into devotees. So, but we see the numbers, so many. Never was there a question. Brahmaji was not worried, oh, so many children, how they will get food. No, there is enough to provide for everyone. But the problem is, you have to have good children. Therefore, every single Prajapati, before producing children, he would perform tapasya, get the blessings of the Lord, and then they would produce good population. So here, when Srila Prabhupada is saying when there is unwanted increase of population, it means Varna Sankara population, bad population, those who don't follow the Vedic injunctions. They create their own, they perform ugra karma, they perform their own act, vikarma, right? Activities which are against the injunctions of the scriptures. This is vikarma. So when the mass of the population is vikarmis, then there has to be in the form of some, mass destruction. It can be either a war or it can be a pestilence, like we had this coronavirus or so many things, right? Epidemics come up and then a large number of people are killed, or there is tsunami, or things like this. So who is this? This is Kala, the Lord in the form of Kala, coming and doing mass destruction. Why? When there is an increase of unwanted population or unwanted increase, that means this type of population we don't want. We need, so when there are too many sinful activities, this is what will happen. That's what it is. It's not about the numbers. Dwaraka had so many residents, no problem. So when there is unwanted population or unwanted increase, when there is an unwanted increase of population, Kala appears, and by some arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, people are killed wholesale in different ways, by war, pestilence, famine, and so on. At the time, even atheistic political leaders, and what happens when when such war and pestilence happens, we see it time and again, right? When I was in the US, when the Twin Towers crashed down, 9/11, it happened in 2001. And at that time, I was in New Vrindavan. And when that happened, all of a sudden, like everyday classes were all about, now Bhagavatam classes were all about 9/11, because up until then, the most searched word in Google, we didn't have YouTube back then. It was Google and emails only. No WhatsApp, nothing. So the most searched word was sex and things like that until then. But from that day onwards, all of a sudden, The most searched word became God. After 9/11, in Google, the word that is most searched became God. Does God exist? Why do bad things happen to good people? Now everyone starts talking about God when such things happen. Even worse. but again, one more thing is the leaders, the leader at the time of the country, he suggested that people are going into depression, right? Thinking about this. So he said he's encouraging everyone. Everyone should go shopping now. Go shopping. That way you'll forget this. Live in your illusion. You see, naturally, when there is a difficulty, the natural instinct is to turn to God. Because after all, we are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. When there is you know, things which are out of our control, then it is natural for the living entity to look towards God, unless he is extremely, sinful. But yeah, it's natural to turn to God, at least even to wonder who is God and things like that. Such thoughts come. But at the same time, we have leaders, again, the same analogy, who think they are the protectors and they come up with their own ideas. Their way of protection of people is go shopping. So you forget all this misery and you can live happily again. So, anyway, but so even these leaders actually, so what Srila Prabhupada is saying, up until then they never talk about God, but when things like this happen, such leaders also go to church, go to, synagogues and mosques, and they also start, now all of a sudden they also start thinking about God. But when they make their plans and their laws, there they don't say anything about God, right? What is the whole duty of the king? To engage the citizens according to their nature, according to their guna, engage them in dharma. And what is dharma? By doing that dharma, it should awaken their taste for hearing Vasudeva Katha about the Supreme Lord. This is the function of the king. But in none of their plans you will never see. Rather, they say we are a secular country. Secular country means we don't care. You can do whatever you like. You can be an atheist. You can be whoever you like. And the government does not interfere with your religion. Srila Prabhupada says secular means the king should make sure that if somebody is saying he belongs to a particular faith or religion, he follows the rules of that particular religion. And if he does not, if for example, if I say I'm a Christian, if I'm not following the tenets of Christianity, then I'm punishable. If I call myself a Hindu and if I don't follow the Vedic injunctions, then I must be punished by the king. Or if I call myself a Muslim and if I don't follow the injunctions given in my scripture, then I'm punishable. This should be the king's job. That is a secular government. Not that secular government means anyone can do whatever they like and, this is a secular country. That's not proper kingdom. That's not proper ruling, administration. So where is there talk about God? Only for, political advantage, sometimes they talk about it. But are you actually interested in awakening that God consciousness in the citizens? So no. But when there is difficulty, when such things happen, then all of a sudden they remember God. At least. So then that means we are asking for such difficulties, isn't it? Unless there is difficulty, we won't think about God. And thinking about God is the goal of life. That means we should be given difficulties all the time so that we will think about God, isn't it? If we think about God even when there is no difficulty, what is the need to get difficult? There is no need. We won't get any difficulty. The purpose is we should be Krishna conscious. If you are Krishna conscious all the time, then why there will be difficulty? But my condition is I will become Krishna conscious only when I get difficulty. Then I should get difficulty. so that I will be Krishna conscious. And my life, the Lord is so kind that He will keep me in difficulty so that I will keep calling Him. That is, if He shows His mercy to me, He will give me difficulty. Isn't it? So that I can remember Him. But not all people are like that. There are great devotees like Ambarish Maharaj and all the pure devotees who will think about God regardless whether there is difficulty or no difficulty. They are always calling God. So they don't need, for them there is no need of difficulty. And even if they get some difficulty, it's simply to set example to others. How even in difficulty one is remembering the Lord with gratitude. Tatte nukampa susamikṣamana bhunjana evatmakritam vipakam ridvagva purbhir vidadan namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bhag. Right? So this is the condition of a devotee, that even if he has difficulties, he will be suffering those difficulties and bowing down to the Lord with his words, with his mind, with his body. He is bowing down, offering obeisances in gratitude. My Lord, I should have suffered much more, but by your kindness you are giving me only a little bit. This is the consciousness of a devotee. So, to set that example, sometimes pure devotees are also given difficulties, like Pandavas all the time, right? You see Prahlad Maharaj, just to show what is the consciousness of a pure devotee. But they don't need. But those who are not pure devotees yet, then we need some difficulties. When we get difficulty, then we become serious about our bhakti and about our devotional service. Otherwise, when everything is comfortable, we are just lukewarm, like that. Okay, so next let's do, I'll just finish this purport and then, sorry, complete this purport and we'll do Bhagavad Gita. At that time, so when there is a difficulty, even atheistic political leaders go to a church, mosque or temple for protection by God or gods and submissively say, God willing, right? By God's will. Now God is in picture, God willing. If God wills, then this will happen. Before that, they pay no attention to God, not caring to know God or His will, right? How do you know what is God's will? In Bhagavad Gita, God is saying what is His will. He is telling you what He wants you to do. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. Offer me, Krishna is saying. God is saying. We don't pay any attention to that, what God is saying, isn't it? But when there is difficulty, then they say, God willing. So, they say God willing. Death is but another feature of the Supreme Kala, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the time of death, the atheist must submit to this Supreme Kala, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead takes away all his possessions, mrityu sarva haraschaham, and forces him to accept another body, tatha dehantara praptihi. So, if we are not wise enough to surrender to Krishna while we are living, we will be forced to surrender to Krishna at the time of death. But the only difference is, here the surrender is voluntary, and in a voluntarily, willingly we surrender to Krishna, take shelter of Him. That is in devotional service, that is bhakti. But at the time of death, every person has to surrender to the Lord who comes in the form of Kala, in the form of death. And that is not going to be a voluntary surrender. That is going to be by force, and that is going to be very, very fearful and very, very painful. So we should be wise and surrender to the Lord now. We have to surrender anyway. There is no choice. Whether you surrender now as a devotee or at the time of death, you are forced to surrender to Kala, death. And then after death, again you are forced to take another birth. And where you will take birth, to which parents, you don't decide. Which form of life, you don't decide. It is forced. Still, now we talk like a crazy person that I am free, right? I have a right to freedom, and so on and so forth. We are never free. In one class, my Guru Maharaj says, if you want to go to, like you say you are free, it was like, he was giving class. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was giving class, and there was one atheist in the classroom, in the audience. So he was kind of saying that, no, I'm free, right? So like this, like how we are completely controlled by the material nature, that was the class. So this person was saying, no, I'm not controlled. I'm free to do what I want at any time I want to, I can do. And then he wanted to use the restroom, the bathroom. He had to go to the toilet. And then they said, no, actually he was saying, I'm God. When you say you're free, that's what it means, I'm God, right? Like I'm free, I can do whatever I like, right? When you say you're free, that's what you're saying, I'm God. That's just what you're saying. So he said, I'm God, and so on and so on. So he said, okay, so now you control your, the nature is calling you, but you control. You don't have to go because you're God. You're controlling the whole material nature. You can control your bodily urges also. They didn't open the bathroom for him. And then he was getting so, for some time he tried, but it was just so bad. He had to go. And literally he started begging and he said, I admit, yes, I'm not God. Open the toilet. And they opened it and he went and he came back. And after that again he said, I'm God. So what can we do? What can we do to such people? But the point is, it's just craziness to think that we are free. We are never free. That's also an illusion of Maya that makes us think that I'm independent, right? I'm not controlled by anyone. I will decide what I want to do. It's not like that. So here we're reading that, so yeah, at the time of death you're forced. Now you can voluntarily surrender to the Lord. And here also, it's not that you're free now and somebody is asking you to surrender. Either you surrender to Maya or you surrender to Krishna. You're never free. You're thinking you're free, but you're surrendered to Maya, to your senses, your mind. Your mind dictates to you. You do this. Your senses dictate to you. I want to eat this. I want to do this. It is the senses pulling you here and there. And like a slave, you're getting pulled by the senses. Instead of that, you surrender to the Lord. You surrender to the Lord. Who is better, right? Surrendering to a servant, he's the Supreme Lord, the Supreme King. If you are a secretary to the president, you think it's prestigious. You don't feel ashamed. Oh, I'm a servant. No, I'm the servant of the president, isn't it? You feel proud. Like that, to be a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the highest position one can. Srila Ramananda Rai says this, right? What is the highest position that one can get? Who is the most famous person, right? To be known as a servant of the Supreme Lord is the most famous person. That's the highest thing one can get. But in our foolishness, we think, no, why I should be his servant? Why I should surrender? I am the master of my family. I am the CEO of this company. I am the president of this country. Or I am the deity of this planet, right? So with that false ego, we don't surrender to the Lord. But then when death comes, he comes, we have to surrender to him as Kala. This the atheists do not know. That if they do know, they don't know that at the time of death they have to surrender. And if they do know, they neglect it so that they may go on with their normal life. This is another illusion, right? When there is fear, what do children do? They're watching something, some scary scene comes, they close their eyes and they think, oh, now I'm safe. Are you actually safe? It is still happening. Or even better example, ostrich. Ostrich is, a bird a big bird, but it's like an animal, it walks on the ground. So when it gets scared, when there is some bombing or something, some fearful condition, it just puts his head into the sand and it thinks, now I'm safe. The danger is not gone away, but you are just putting yourself in a situation and you're thinking that, oh, I am safe. You're not safe. Similarly, the atheists, even if they know, try to understand the concept, the idea. It may be there in us also. We don't want to talk about death. Isn't it? When we talk about death, people say, don't talk, that's not good. Don't talk about death. Why you have to talk about bad things? Talk about nice things, enjoy life. No, you shouldn't talk about death. Death is reality, my dear friend. You have to talk about it. And you have to prepare for it. It's your final exam. When you get an exam and people say, don't talk about the exam, let's have fun now. Let's play and let's have fun. Let's watch movies, let's go outside. And what will happen? Are you going to escape the exam? Exam is going to come anyway. After 1 week, okay, you have the exam and you have wasted all your time. And then there is the exam. And you're thinking, all this time you're thinking, put it away. Now have fun now. Like this. Even if they come to know that at the time of death, the Lord is going to come as Kala, you'll be forced to die, they just put it away. Let me go on with my normal life. I will think about it later, in old age or afterwards. Put it on the shelf for now. Now I have so many important things to do in this world. My normal life, my family, my work, my career, so on and so forth. That's another thing. This is atheistic mentality. To put away that subject is also atheistic mentality. That's the point. So they don't know, first of all, and even if they do know, they neglect it so that they may go on with their normal life. The Krishna consciousness movement is trying to teach them that although for a few years one may act as a great protector or great watchman, with the appearance of Kala, death, one must take another body by the laws of nature. Not knowing this, they unnecessarily waste their time in their occupation as watchdogs. And don't take this watchdog only as, the politicians. On every level. Even as a parent, I can be acting like a watchdog, thinking that I am protecting my children, I am the protector, I am going to do everything. Unless I give them Krishna consciousness, I am not protecting them. I can be giving them food, I can be giving them education and wealth and everything else. But if they are not taking, their Krishna consciousness is not developing, I am not protecting them. I am also like that watchdog only, thinking that this is my area and I am going to protect this. I am not going to protect anything. Not knowing this, right? They unnecessarily waste their time in their occupation as watchdogs and do not try to get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is clearly said, Aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. Aprapya mam, not getting Krishna. Aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. If you don't get Krishna, mrityu samsara vartmani, you'll be coming back again and again to this mrityu samsara, again and again taking birth and dying. This they don't understand. It's not finished with one life. Sometimes, people say, oh, so much difficulty, I want to end my life. That is another foolishness. You will end your life and come back again. You cannot get rid of your karma. That karma will haunt you, will follow you. As many times as you take birth, you have to face the same circumstances. Better face it now. Surrender to the Lord and just accept it. As it is clearly said, aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsara vartamani. Without Krishna consciousness, one is condemned to continue wandering in birth and death, not knowing what will happen in one's next birth. This is avidya, right? Ignorance. Ignorance on every level, there is ignorance. What will happen to me next? I don't know after death. What type of body I get? I don't know. And I don't have any protector. My only protection is, I think my protection is my life insurance and my bank balance, whatever I have, after my retirement plan and the house that I have, these things are going to protect me. How long will they protect me? How long will they protect me? Even they cannot protect actually. When the time of death comes, when Kala comes, Nothing can protect us. And then there is another life. It's not over with that. There's another life, one more cycle. So we should become very, very serious about Krishna consciousness. I will stop there today. I think we are going over time, and what to do? Bhagavad Gita. Should I read or what? You tell me. If you have work, I'll just stop here.
మాతాజీ నాకైతే పడింది కొంచెం.
Panunda? Okay. So I will end. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So let's continue tomorrow. Thank you all so much. Granthiraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.